messages. This will be the July 2018 episode of DioWarriors store Hangout, and I am just waiting on some people to join us. I expect a couple of new guys to respond, hopefully, and so we'll give it a few minutes here. In the meantime, I'll send them another reminder. Invites sent. Okay. So let us do this again. Sending out the invitations again. Maybe it did not work earlier. Okay. Invitations are now sent. I expect Andre should be talking about his future plans for DioWarriors store, what he's working on. Here he comes.
Hey.
Good evening, Andre.
Greetings.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Andre of DioWarriors and DioWarriors store. So what's happening, dude?
I was at the local supermarket, and I had to rush back, and so it took a while for me to get back. But doing okay. It's been decent weather over here, not extremely hot, and kind of rained earlier. That's about it.
Yeah, it was right now current temperature is 105.
Wow.
Here in Northridge, California. So yeah, yesterday when we planned the original hangout, I was dying. My blood pressure went down, so I went to urgent care and I got cared for urgently. And then I just went home and took a nap and got some rest. But anyway, we expect to be joined by a couple of people here. I sent the invitations. Hopefully they will respond. I wanted them to be a surprise for you. But
I think when you send invitations, it lists people's names. So I think I may have seen
okay,
one additional person. How is my voice and how is the movement to my camera? Is it quick enough?
Yes, very clear.
Okay.
And on both the audio and video.
Okay, good.
All right, let me send another invite. The problem with the other host was that his laptop was a little weak, and that's why. And also, by the way, it was configured with his screen up over the keyboard, the mic being on top of the speakers. He always had a lot of what do you call them, feedback, and
right.
He kept blaming the internet provider, but it was him, or he would blame whoever was on, but that was not the case, because every time I host these hangouts, everything's clear because my equipment is top notch.
I got the My microphone and camera, they're on top of the laptop screen. So they're not down here by my fingers for typing or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah. You know, if you're because I used to use a Sony Vaio, which was great. And
Uh-huh.
it's just the angle of the screen and everything, and
Right.
also your speakers are you got them on too loud. It just feedbacks.
Right.
So when I was on my Sony Vaio at the time, and I was talking to ex-wife number 3 on Yahoo Messenger, it would feedback. I had to get a one of those headsets to plug in, so that would mute the the speaker.
Right.
Welcome, Sean of West Coast Diorama Supply Depot.
Good evening, gentlemen. I'm.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, man. Gotcha.
Oh, hey, look at that.
Oh yeah.
And it didn't turn. I mean, that's about the best I can get it. But I mean, it works.
I have yours over here. I just have to send everything to you, and I need to print one for myself as well.
I figured I'd just get it done because I'm just really excited, especially with all this medical equipment. Um, just the backboard, and I found a defibrillator,
Oh, hey.
so that can go on my gurney and everything. So right now I'm working on trying to get this oxygen bottle uh, strapped to the gurney.
Is that the one I designed for you?
Yes.
Do you need grooves on the canister? Something to make it easier for straps to grip?
Oh no. This is the material I'm using is a ribbon that looks like webbing,
Okay.
and I am using jump rings. I will show you here in just a moment. As soon as I get this threaded through. Because I couldn't find any STLs of quick release buckles. Of course, those are going to be too small anyway.
Yeah, but even with a resin printer, you don't have the details. It won't function, but it'll be cosmetic detail.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine. As soon as you see this, you'll see what I'm doing here.
Okay.
It's just very meticulous work. Okay, here we go. Got it.
So Arnold, earlier today I posted some pictures of four Joes, and
Yeah.
I asked people to name them. Did you use their real character names?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought. I wasn't familiar with their real names. So, hey, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in the military, in the Navy, we have our nicknames. We don't necessarily have our code names. Uh, uh, but we go by our real names, our last names, actually.
Right.
When we're out on the field, out in combat, whatever, in order to protect people's identities, we use the nicknames.
Right.
So you can kind of. They're jewelry rings, and I took two of them, basically like buckles,
Yeah.
and just attach it to the back. Boom.
That looks good.
So now I got to figure out a way to get the cover to stay. I had to cut that to size. That's material that we use in the cath lab that covers some of our sterile equipment. So I just cut it into the shape and fit it on here. So let's put the gurney back together. Well, that's really heavy on the backside. make sure it doesn't want to tip over.
Maybe you can hide a counterweight on the other side.
That's what I'm considering. Or I can just put this up front,
Uh-huh.
one of the bags that, and then maybe put the pillow in the center.
Well, all the sound and the videos are coming in clear for me. I can understand and see everyone clearly.
Okay, that's out of the bag. The legendary Tom Brooks is trying to figure out how to respond to my invite.
You should be able to just click on the green bar on the message that pops up in Google or in Gmail.
Okay, I'll tell him that. Click on the green bar. Click on the green bar on your.
Let's see. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, it turned out I'm really happy with them. I really like the idea that I can fold up the monitor.
Yeah, I need to design the I want to use the mouse to point. I need to design the front of that I don't know what you call it, the front of the arm to make it a little bit smaller. And but I made them so they can be used by vinyl tubes.
Mm-hmm.
If I could come up with something, you know, not a vinyl tube, but something different that's smaller diameter and still rubbery, then I'll make that smaller, and I think that will be ready then for like for selling out on the store.
Yeah, I like it. I'm very pleased with it. Even just with using a styrene tube to place it in there, it works really well. You know, just I have to go in there and sand the inner diameter
Yes.
of their, you know, just enough to where I'll get a nice snug fit in there. I don't have to glue anything. The only thing that I glued was the base to the monitor base to the keyboard base, and then the little keyboard arm here. And the only other thing would be this part here that got glued to the monitor. But both of these, all this whole mechanism here is not even glued. It's just all just put into place. Perfect.
I think sometimes I use the cotton swabs, the plastic ones, not the one with the cardboard, but the plastic cotton swabs. Those sometimes work good for small diameter axle.
Oh yeah, didn't even think about that. Yeah. Most of the time, I just go over to the hobby store that's not just maybe 5 minutes away from me and buy all my styrene there. It's basically they do a lot of remote control. My phone's going crazy. Remote control boats and airplanes and vehicles. A lot of train stuff and some models, but they have a pretty good selection of styrene, which fits me very well. I don't think there's anything that I've looked for that they didn't have, or unless they don't carry, but sometimes they're out of stock, which
Right.
sucks, but whatever.
Any word from Tom Brooks?
He saw the message.
Okay.
Seen 6:23 p.m. So he's probably still trying to figure out how to. Okay, we got one viewer.
Hey.
Now I'm trying to figure out how to share the link. This new way with YouTube is still kind of.
No problem. While you focus on that, I guess Sean and I can continue talking.
Yes.
So that way you're not distracted doing several things at once. So Sean, you got yourself a 3D printer. Tell us about it.
Well, it's the Oh, are you calling him?
Okay, hang on. What? It's a Facebook call. Okay.
Oh. He's trying to. He's probably walk him through it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a I
I know
can't even.
it's a mono price. I know that.
Yeah, it's a monoprice 2. It's got an 8x8 print area, or 8x8x8. It's heated bed. It can run. I haven't really looked into what other materials it can run right now. I'm just PLA because that's the easiest, and from what I understand, it's the easiest and most forgiving to work with. It's taken a little bit of time um, figuring it out, just playing with it, figuring out the print settings, reading, going into a couple forums, and kind of um, typing in general questions along with your help as well to figure out. The raft was the big thing. It was set up to where it was printing a really big raft, and it
There
was
he is.
wasting a lot of material. Hey, Tom.
Hey there.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, the legendary Tom Brooks.
Hey.
Mr. Tom,
Hey, guys.
nice to meet you, sir.
Hey, nice to see you guys.
So we were just talking about 3D printers.
That's cool.
And Sean was giving us a little rundown of his new printer.
But so far, it's printing out pretty good. Once I got all the bugs worked out of it, I'm getting some really, really nice prints. Printed up a couple little stanchions or concrete barriers. I still need to print out yours, Andre. The backboard,
Right.
the spine board, which took me a while. God, I had at least 5 or 6 of these darn things that failed before I finally got a good one.
Why were they failing? And what did you do to get them working?
The raft was failing, and I think it was just recalibrating the bed because as it was traveling across the bed, it was not adhering very well to the bed surface. So a lot of the edges were coming up, and then it would catch the edge of the next one and start pulling it away, and I would have this big blob of a mess. So recalibrating the distance was a big help, and then also slowing down the printer. The actual printing speed on a lot of them has been a huge help. It really makes a difference in the detail from what I'm noticing. So once we got I got the raft size down, you'd recommended 10 millimeters, and that really made a big difference. So it's working, it's printing well, as you can see with your stuff that I printed out of yours. Another chair that I found on another site. It was made for a checkpoint for 3 3/4 or 4-inch figures, and I just took the chair because I didn't want to print out the rest of the walls and stuff. Just too long of a print. I'm too impatient right now.
You need to superimpose a Cobra head on top of that chair and make a Cobra Commander throne.
Yeah.
Well, I know Tom Brooks over there has has access to a 3D printer. Have you been doing any 3D printing? So?
Let's see if I can get it behind me. Yeah, I got use of a MakerBot for the summer.
Nice, cool.
And I'll be taking it back to school in a couple of weeks. But I haven't really printed anything in the last couple of weeks. I've been traveling. My son's printed some stuff. Let me show you. This is what is it? It's a weapon from.
Laser pistol.
It's a laser pistol from Fallout, and it's full size, so it's going to be pretty cool.
Okay.
And he's printing the parts of it, and he's putting it all together. And
Nice.
I just bought these things here.
Yes.
Galaxian, Space Invaders and Pac-Man, but they're too short for figures to stand against. So I'm going to print. I just figured out the dimensions of a base. So I got to make the base, and I'll print the bases just for them to sit in to give them a height for Vipers or Joes or whoever to play the games.
That'd be sweet. No more having to search hallmarks for the other ones, and I don't even think those light up.
This is a hook shot from which Legend of Zelda that my son printed out the pieces for. I think he's really gotten into the 3D printer more than I have. Over the summer, I've been printing my little mini dios, but I don't have any right here with me at the moment.
Yeah, they've got a full-size version of a mini Cricket from Men in Black, and also, if he's a fan of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they have a full-size ICER pistol. It's pretty nice. Those are all free.
That series. And I've also this weekend I was rewatching the G.I. Joe, mini series. Like Rise, Repent to Arise, Pyramid of Darkness, things like that. Just trying to see about background props that they use, that Cobra uses, the Joe uses, and I noticed they have some interesting chairs. I'm going to try to reproduce, and. So I'm just hunting around for new ideas on different props. No time to design anything new though. I am completely swamped in getting people's orders out. So I haven't been too active taking photos or anything like that because of that.
I've always wanted to do a Rise Serpentor Rise diorama of when they have the creature under the blanket, and you have the tanks in the background with all the different material, the DNA material in them. And with being in the medical field, I can get those plastic vacutainers, and I just have to figure out, how to fill them up with, either like different colors of hair gel and inject bubbles in there to make it look like it's bubbling.
Yeah.
Then I got all the little glassware, so I can get the medical vials and all that stuff. So it's just a matter of doing it.
Yeah, I was looking at some acrylic tubes, and because I'm getting another laser cutter. Not quite sure when. It's one of those like early bird Kickstarter things. So if it ships and if it comes in time, it will have a rotary tool where it rotates a cylinder object like a bottle or a glass or a cup. So the laser cutter can engrave it as it rotates.
Nice.
So I'm thinking, well, you can find acrylic tubing or plastic tubing, and I was thinking I can get some of those and cut those straight through and engrave patterns, designs, and make a more interesting looking cylinder.
Yeah. Also, we get that the skeleton of Montezuma along with that.
Yes.
Or how about making tombs? So got
There's
okay.
tons of
that would be interesting to do.
Yeah.
Sort of relief carving,
Yeah.
Mayan carving, and then attach that to a sarcophagus.
Oh yeah, those big stone tombs, and then the big pillars, with the hieroglyphs on them, and you can laser etch R2D2 and C3PO on them, just like on Indy.
That would be cool.
What's nice is that there are Egyptian hieroglyphic fonts, and the easy thing is that you can just put a bunch of gibberish and just have the thing, orient what you type into a vertical pattern or some other pattern, and just laser engrave that onto a surface. It will work being font.
Yeah. And also, funny you mentioned Orient. I was thinking about Genghis Khan, too. His sarcophagus. He's got some pretty elaborate carvings on him.
What I want to do eventually is to do like partial Dio stuff. For example, not to do a complete tomb, but to do like the entrance to a tomb. Just incomplete. The purpose would be something that a person can take to a beach or some other sandy wooded area or something like that, and easily bury part of it to make it look like the entrance to an underground structure of some sort.
Oh, good idea. Also, I have a question for you, Andre.
Yes.
You have 3D printers. You have the laser etchy thingy.
Yes.
And you got the milling machine now. How about getting a scanner? So you can scan real world 1/1 scale tools and tinker with the CAD software and shrink them down to 1/18 scale.
The main thing is on a lot of those, the resolutions that we're looking for is not quite there yet, and the ones that do have it, they still tend to be expensive. But yeah, it's been a while since I've last looked into them. About maybe about a year and a half since I looked into them. But yeah, we have a number of 3D printers, laser cutter, an injection machine, and now an industry level milling machine that we're currently installing. Okay, yeah, probably a 3D scanner would be interesting. Yeah.
How do you guys like the complex systems by Rage and Spoon?
I love it. I think it's fantastic.
I like your setup. That was cool. Man, I wish I had some extra money to throw at it, because that's looks so. I mean, it's like you could totally add that to the G.I. Joe base and expand off the original, G.I. Joe base or Cobra base, and just the possibilities on that stuff is endless. It's amazing.
I think what's really interesting too are the holes along the sides, to where I've just plugged in backpacks and that sort of thing, but that also leads to creating something to add as accessories to it. Because even on the concrete side, it's got holes on the floor to where you can add stuff to it as well. Because I've got these. I think these are actually. Let's see if you can see them at the end of the bunks. They're actually. I think they're originally ammo cases from one of the machine guns, but I just put it down there, sort of footlockerish, and it kind of helps hold the bunks in place.
Oh yeah. Those are the Gatling gun. The bats use those too. Those the Gatling gun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
But yeah, I need at least maybe 8 more wall sets.
Yeah. I bought 4 sets, and it's not enough. I need like 4 more to do something useful. So I have enough to put something together, but not enough to take a photo, because then there'll be gaps on the sides.
Yeah.
Just waiting for next month, and I'll probably order a couple more.
I saw somebody put a second story on that, and I don't know if they've had stairs, but there was a nice little setup in a second story in another room on top, and that was, oh my gosh, that's just one of those shut up and take my money, but
Exactly.
I don't have money to throw at it right now.
One person is doing is putting the DioWarrior catwalk on the second floor up some stairs. You can see a yellow border, from the print. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that was recently, right? I think sometime today. I think I saw it.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'm just doing my poor man's complex here. Tom sent me some of his misprints when he was doing his walls and floors, and they're great, man. I mean, I can cut them, just cut off the little parts where you messed up on, and I plan on casting them and cast multiples and cast them together and make. Yeah, because I got a lot of casting materials. I'm poor. The casting materials cost a pretty penny. But yeah, maybe sometime soon I'll buy those complex ones.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna get something to drink.
Okay.
My mouth is getting dry.
So Tom, what else are you working on?
Not a whole lot right now. Not much.
Okay, but you
I
got
just-
any
I got-
plans?
I had somebody interested. He liked the little mini corner dials that I made, and I took one and scaled it down to just a little bit bigger than probably 1/35th scale. They're kind of close to a scale of the Mega Constructs figures. It was just a scale down of the actual 3D models. It wasn't designed for the scale, and it turned out pretty good. But he says I got a market there if I wanted to make those and sell them, like the little corner sets like I have before. But we'll see. I still got some of my big sets that I want to work on, and maybe I'd like to sell a few more.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But getting back to your set there, how about
Hey, lay down.
finding a footlocker? Maybe maybe find a file on Thingiverse about 1/18 scale footlockers.
Right. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, and put those at the end of the bunks.
So, by the way, what kind of CAD software are you using?
I use SketchUp. I've used Tinkercad and SketchUp. Tinkercad's got some pretty cool little features. I know, Arnold, you were mentioning the other day about cylinders and things like that. but there's a really cool little feature you can actually, and I don't know where, I can't think right off, but you can actually alter the terrain and make it a rough earth-like terrain, different like ground textures and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I tried to print one with a peg in it to make it like an alternative figure stand.
You hungry?
But the peg just wasn't. I'd have to figure out a better way to integrate it into the platform because it snapped right off. It was too small, too thin.
Is it in?
Oh.
Is it in metric? Is that why?
Yeah. I always use metric for the 3D printer. I think it can convert it to inches, but I've just gotten used to working in millimeters.
Also, I was just thinking you have a very good resource there. I understand you're a teacher,
Right.
and you
Right back.
also have printers in school. Man, those young kids, man, they're very, very bright. How about giving them assignments? Hey, here's your assignment for today. Design a 1/18 scale footlocker for the arm.
And make it metrics and make it in the metric system. So
Exactly.
yeah, I've actually the only one that exists at the school I'm at right now is a MakerBot Mini, and it's a new one. It's a newer model, but it's not near as high output as the replicator that I have. But I think Andre's got some Formlab printers, and I've seen those running, and I want to write a grant to try to get a couple of those because those things looks like. I mean, I've seen Andre's stuff. I've held some of his stuff at JoeCon, and there's some really amazing prints, really smooth. It doesn't have the print lines that I'm used to with the MakerBot. and that would be the next step to go to. You know, I gotta primarily think of the classroom first, my students, and get them interested in this kind of thing, so they're not playing Fortnite all the time.
Yeah, true. Also, yeah, getting back to Tinkercad, I just got the free version, and I'm working on. I'm just starting out on it.
Yeah.
Also, so like like I mentioned before, I learned how to make squares and
Yeah.
circles and tubes and pipes and cans and cylinders. So, so yeah, you know.
Well, SketchUp has a free version too called SketchUp Make, and you can download it. And it's Tinkercad is easier to use, but SketchUp, once you get into it, it takes some work. Because I mean, whenever I have students onto it, they gotta just use it for a couple of days just to get an idea what how to use the tools. And I get a small handful of students that actually like it and really enjoy it, and the rest of them just screw around with it and make stupid shapes. But you know, I'm trying to connect. You know, everybody, as long as they have some exposure, that's cool. But as long as they get, you know, if I can get a few interested in it, that's cool.
Yeah.
If I'm interested, like it, yeah, that's cool. But not really me. That's fine. And that's some that just really like it.
I gotta send you some of these, Tom. Your bunks look bare.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Little pillows and stuff, and then
Yeah.
Pillows and bedrolls.
Yep. Then somewhere, I don't know where the hell I did with it. Oh, here it is.
Every time I post a picture of my dioramas using the bunks and Sean's bedrolls, yeah, people are asking about it all the time.
Well, this is, I think, going to go really well, especially with Marauder Task Force. Their World War II stuff coming out. They have those plastic stretcher litters, but you know, if you want to go a little more realistic, you know, you'll have have these available, and then they also fit the spine board pretty well. There we go.
Yeah, he printed a spine board.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool.
I was an EMT for 5 years, so anything medical is my field of I guess expertise, and I like to focus on it. But here's the little medic bags.
Yeah, that's cool.
Big and small, and then that gurney. I don't know if you've seen it from Tiny HK. Trying to maneuver it into place here.
That's amazing.
So it's got the oxygen bottle from Andre. Sent me the file, so I printed it out, and then I found a defibrillator that was on a set that came with a oversized stethoscope, a weird-looking cheap MRI machine, couple other pieces, and I had to scale up the defibrillator, but hey, it's now I have a full ambulance set up.
That's cool.
To do with my valves. Painted their hands purple and put the little it's covering, sorry. I had Bad Mother tattoos, I guess James or whatever his name, print me up some of the stars of life to put on everything. So
that's cool.
Yeah. Do not have an ambulance crew, but all this is for a later dio that I'm working on. I've got a 4x8 sheet of plywood that I'm building a city street on, and the idea is to, Cobra's going to have a secret lab underground, and zombies, zombie vipers, and there's going to be an outbreak. So it's a really big thing, but it's just a matter of getting around to building it. And that foam, you can get that same material at Michael's.
Yeah.
and just, cut it to size. Here I've got tan. They've got some blue, black, white. Just I can't find any of that olive drab anywhere. That's the only part that sucks because I really like that OD green.
There's a place called the Supply Sergeant, and they sell rolls of fabric, in camo,
Mm-hmm.
and also they also sell sheets in camo, all kinds of camo, Marpat, Woodland,
Cool.
digitized stuff.
You all seen the general's desk, right?
Yeah.
Just real quick, Tom, if you get a chance, did you ever look up Xansa's toys on Thingiverse?
I don't think so.
Just look up squat bench or dumbbells or something. This guy Adrian Herbs, he has all this stuff for free. He's got this desk. He's got dumbbell sets, bench press. That table. Some other really cool stuff that he's made available for free. So if that's something you're looking for, more props, that's a good one of the good starting points right there. But back to Andre, yes, that's
DioWarriors.
Yes. Well, yeah. But some of us that can get stuff for free, that's
yeah. It always helps.
Yeah, help. It's good for the community. It's especially for us as starting. But yeah,
but it's the Marauders Task Force logo on the desk.
Oh, you got one on the desk?
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
So if you really love Marauder Task Force, you could have, instead of a Joe on some other desk, you do you have a Marauder Task Force desk.
Cool.
I don't know, but the JoeCon was really good. Too bad it's the last one, but it was really good. Specifically, that I was able to actually meet Marauder John and talk with him, shake his hand, things like that, and basically got the all clear to do the Marauder Task Force logo on some of our stuff.
Cool.
And so I'm going to try to get a little bit more creative with the logo and place it around on props that can show up on a dio and improve the overall look. So the desk is the first one that I'm trying with the Marauders logo at this size, and I think the engraving came out pretty good. Let's see. But these things haven't hit the store yet, and because I just got this done just yesterday, and there's a few other items I need to get on the store first before moving with some of these new things. And I need to also order some new supplies, new acrylics, things like that. Because people have been asking for these LED desktop lights with the Marauders logo. And so I need to have some more of those made, or different options on sizes placed on the store.
Andre, check your camera. We can't seem to see it.
Yeah, there's no video feed on you, Andre.
Oh, maybe I need to. I got the light that it's on, but let's see. Camera off, camera on.
There we go.
Oh, there you are.
Now we can see you.
Ah, okay. Do I need to show this again?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
that turned out great.
Yeah.
And the other one turned out really good too, just with the Department of Defense logo. I'm glad you went with that because it's it's generic and it looks just perfect, man. That's just, man.
Once I did the varnish, it's the grains of the wood kind of interferes with the engraving, but I guess I'll try to make the engraving darker from now on.
Still looks good though.
Yeah, I love that DOD logo.
So, anyways, has it been almost an hour?
Yeah, just about. Yeah. You guys want to keep going?
Well, don't want to overextend, anything, especially with this being our first video back in a while. And as soon as it gets quiet, people can kind of run out of things to say, and gets kind of forced.
Well, I can keep talking if you guys want. I mean, I've always got something to talk about. I mean, it's. I was really excited to hear the feedback on how well DioWarriors store was at the JoeCon. Seeing how busy you guys were and how much exposure you guys got, and obviously how busy you guys are now. So it's very exciting.
I like that. I like your story about some older gentleman and his assistant came up to your table.
Oh yeah.
Started checking everything that you have.
Yeah, I'm not gonna list any names just in case I am wrong, but I am like 98% sure it was that particular person. But yeah, it was a very interesting experience.
Yeah, you're not violating any copyright laws. We are working on diorama props.
Right.
We're working on anything branded.
Right. It's all original stuff.
Oh yeah.
And we're trying not to duplicate anyone else's work, so we're trying to do our own style, our own thing.
Yeah, see, that's what I like about the DioWarriors store and West Coast Diorama Supply Depot and my work. We concentrate on props, on things that other people don't make, actually.
Oh, speaking of that, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get that SATCOM.
Okay. Yeah, because being ex-military myself, I see I see a lot of people posting diorama pictures of their Joes and Cobra and their props are very limited. It used to be like right when everybody started, it used to be those little cardboard crates that came with the Indiana Jones figures, and not a lot of people had. I mean, dude, everything is about gear. In the military, everything is about gear.
Right.
I was a sonar tech. Everything was about gear. I was a Navy diver. All we ever talked about was gear. And then we went into combat. Same thing. Everything was gear. And
There's some up in the garage.
yeah, I was loving all the
shelves
cases,
there's all kind of
arms
types.
crates, gun crates, ammo boxes, everything. And not many people have that. Now we.
Actually, here, we'll do it against the back.
I was looking around the other casters, the original casters. All they ever did were heads and torsos.
Oh, here we go.
Right.
There you go.
Oh,
So
that's
that's your SATCOM that I'm sending to you, Andre. If you have low light, just take a thread and attach it to the back side, the bottom part there. You can see like there's a little nub.
Yes.
Just attach. You can like put drill a small hole into it and put a thread or something. But this would be really good for low light's little radio.
I see.
So I originally designed that for Bomb Strike. So that way, because she's an Air Force forward air controller, and figured, well, she needs a proper way to communicate. So, and I couldn't find anything out there that was good enough. So I just built my own SATCOM, and they actually fit in these little containers with a piece of cotton pretty well and don't even move around. So it'd be good for transport. But you know, just that's the whole reason why. You know, because we started at another toy photography site, and as 3D printing started in its infancy, we started all talking about, well, wouldn't that be great to be able to start making props that we normally would have to build out of printed cardstock, where you'd have to cut and fold and paste, and you know, you'd have your crates and computers, consoles and stuff, and now I mean, look at the things that we can build, and you know, people are designing, you know, like Andre's computer console that, you know, you can fold up the screen on it and place it on a table, and you have a workstation or a computer station, you know, and then you could paint it either color. It could be good for G.I. Joe, paint it Cobra Blue, and then you have a monitor for Televipers. You know, these are only things that we could have only dreamed of having for what, 10 years ago when we first started getting into everything again.
Right.
Yeah, I think I've still got
9 years ago.
Yeah, I've still got a stack of printed out foldable containers that I never cut out and folded because it was so much work to get them creased properly.
Yeah, that's where this comes in very, very handy.
Yeah.
You got that nice sharp edge there. You can just fold it right over it, and because there's still a few things that I don't mind, you know, using printables with, but then, you know, there's nothing else out there that you use, so you kind of stuck with them. But like little cereal boxes, donut boxes, pizza boxes. I've got 6-pack beer can and soda boxes, charcoal bags. Gosh,
I remember that.
Arnold, you had something that was like 1/18 scale, little miniature that was kind of interesting, it's kind of scandalous there on the internet, wasn't it, Arnold? That little magazine you had?
Oh, yeah, that came from Bad Mother Tattoos. He has them. He has the G.I. Joe version, the Cobra version.
Did somebody really got offended by that?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Well, actually, what I did was because a lot of people originally I just showed the cover. You know, it was a Playboy and it had Scarlett on the cover. She was
Rachel Adams or whatever her name is, or
yeah, Rise Cobra. She was wearing her battle armor, and people were asking, hey, are there pages in between? Are there any pictures? So I said, yeah, sure, you know. And this time I did it smartly. Okay, I used my second account. That way, if I ever get shut down by Facebook,
shut down again.
Yeah, but anyway, so I made a Facebook video and I showed what's inside. It had a redhead in there. You know, it had the pictorials in there, and the centerfold that folded out. The back page where it had the Playboy jokes. And then it had one back page where it had a cartoon. The next thing I know, I got reported, but this time Facebook had the courtesy to warn me first and give me a choice.
Wow.
So I deleted it, but yeah, it got reported, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What do you got there, Tom?
Oh, this is these Power Team Elite figures that I got. I bought 2 more sets of bunks and lockers today, and I'm just looking at these. The cannon fodder that comes with it.
Yeah, those are going to become my. I need to find some plastic that's good enough, little heavy but still enough to where it's pliable. I have a pretty sizable box of those figures that I want to use just as the body, because I want to make body bags. Because part of my story is that, of course, with the Compound Z, there's going to be a breakout. Everybody's, zombies are going to go breaking loose. Cobra tries to contain. They get overwhelmed. Joseph's in their containment unit to back them up. Cobra's basically sent out, hey, we have a scientist in there that is holed up somewhere in the facility, and we need him rescued, and he's our only hope of finding a cure. So once the upper street level containment has been taken care of, there's going to be a biohazard containment area that's all going to be fenced in with basically rows of body bags and yellow bags of biohazardous material, red bags, and that sort of thing. So just a matter of finding the material and then figuring out how to hermetically seal the body bags to close them up without having to buy a hermetic or one of those little sealers, So I did see a tutorial where somebody took a metal edge ruler like this and then took the plastic over the edge and just ran a lighter over it real quick, and it was a caliper type ruler where they'd put the two edges together and just ran the light across it and melted the edges. So hopefully that'll work. But
speaking of zombies, how's it going? Anybody know anything with those zombie lab Kickstarter campaign?
It sounds like whatever was the issue that they had 2 weeks ago was just something internal that doesn't seem to be affecting the Kickstarter in general. Or if there was a threat of an impact with the Kickstarter pledges, that kind of thing, I think I think they made a priority to try to mitigate that type of threat. Everything seems to be okay at the moment.
So they will still be delivering their product on time?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Sounds like whatever was going on internally, they tried to shield it from affecting their delivery dates, their schedules, the promises that they made.
Well, now there's also talk about they're just going to deliver what people pledged into, but there won't be a website for public sale in the future.
Well, that's not good. I hope that's not true.
Anything can happen between now and then. And making a store website from scratch can be done within a week, especially if you have all of the materials written up already. And them being with Locker Toys in the past, they had that material written up as well as for the Kickstarter. So if they really wanted to start a brand new store under a totally different name, they have all the materials already written, as well as photos, pictures, and things. They can get up to speed easily.
Heck, they could just do an e-creator store.
Yeah,
I'd buy off of them.
Yeah, so I'm not too worried about that. But it is interesting if they decide not to pursue a store in the future. Does that mean they intend to sell through other stores and just be something like a manufacturer and not do any of the retail themselves?
Yeah, Locker Toys came on the group, the Zombie Lab group, and they said that they will be carrying, or they will be selling Zombie Lab figures through their store if ever Zombie Lab decides to go public, because right now their only plan was to fulfill the Kickstarter orders.
Interesting. So that if that's the case, then it sounds like there's not going to be another zombie lab like a wave 2, unless maybe what another Kickstarter comes up or something.
I don't know, man, but getting these Kickstarters, like for example, Eagle Force. I was charged $25 for one figure. They charged my credit card, but that was back in 2015. That's 3 years ago. And all we've been getting are updates on card art and concept art, and still no product. I'm just glad I lost $25.
I don't think you lost anything yet. I lost. If that's the case, I would have lost 3 times as much then. But I don't remember seeing anything at the JoeCon as in terms of pictures. No. There was. They had a display at the JoeCon with the cowboy stuff, but I think it was at the very bottom. Like you had to go look for it. It was like at feet level, and so I took some photos. But they had some stuff there. It looked good there. They had nothing I could hold in hand. And at the time that I went to take a look at them, the first time nobody was there, so I couldn't talk to anybody. And the second time, the person I spoke to was mostly interested in showing off the cowboy stuff. But yeah, I'm interested in getting that bulldog mascot that they have a little bit more than the actual figures. I want that bulldog.
Who has the bulldog?
I think it's like the leader guy of Eagle Force. I think his.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Sergeant something. I don't remember the name or.
Well, a lot of people are waiting on that campaign because the Larry Hama figure is in that campaign.
Yeah. Don't remember what the character, but yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and then I saw a picture during JoeCon. Somebody put a picture of that shelf, and they were like seeing into it, reading between the lines, because they were like, look, the cowboy guy posed all his cowboys, on the shelves, and then the Eagle Force were just throwing in the bottom shelf, didn't even bother standing them up and posing them. They're like, what's going on?
The first time I saw them, I went there and I didn't see anything of Eagle Force. And then later that night at the hotel, there was a post from the Eagle Force people asking if anyone's at the JoeCon, take some photos of our stuff, that kind of thing. So the next day I went looking for them and do them a favor and taking some photos. And at first I didn't see anything. Then I walked around, came back later, a couple hours later, and then I saw their stuff. It was, down at feet level. And all the items were just laying down. Nice and neat. Wasn't as a pile, but it was just laying down. All the figures were flat on their back. So I took a photo of that. And so I have that if people want to see, But I think later on, I saw a photo like the following day. I think maybe the figures were standing on their feet. So the only thing I could think of is that when I got there, they were still setting things up, and they just put the figures on their backs as a placeholder to be, stood up later when they can organize everything. That's all I could think.
Okay, moving on. A few days ago, I posted a picture of my '80s vehicles, and I got a lot of people inquiring about it, and then one guy asked me if I had an extra 18 van. I guess he's hoping he'd buy it, and I said, yeah, I do. I actually do. I have a second 18 van, but I painted him up and made him my G.I. Joe van. And people were like going nuts. They're like, why? You know, but I don't know if you guys saw the video. I did a video review of the 18 van and kit. Jazz Wares and Diamond Select. Diamond Select made kit, and it's a much better product. I heard from somebody that Diamond Select will be re-releasing kit and car later on this year, and then another company will be making 118 scale 8 vans later on this year. So that will, there's hope. There's hope for everyone else.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now with San Diego Comic-Con, you know, now you're getting some photos that are hitting Facebook. Someone posted, I think, earlier today or yesterday night, something about no, I think earlier today, some Marvel Legends diorama, and people were commenting about it and stuff. And someone was commenting that some company that was doing that particular line or something was getting out of the 118 scale figures, just going to stick with 6-inch figures, and that they were saying that the sales for the 6-inch were doing really, really well. With places like Toys R Us, you know, shutting down, where are people going for 6-inch figures these days? Target, Walmart, and is that it?
Yeah, pretty much. But my local Targets and Walmarts around here, they don't restock. They just don't. I mean, they're stubborn as hell. You know, it's embarrassing. And also, I'm just glad I got what I got out of GI Joe and Cobra. And Star Wars, I'm not really that much into them. I just get the human figures, except for maybe Admiral Akbar and Yoda and a few good figures. But I'm also now looking into Microman, Voltec. But I'm not switching up. I'm not switching up to 6 inches. 6-inch scale is just way too much money for me.
I mean, you know, even if they do come out with those, there's no way I can get into it because I've got so much money into the 4-inch figures. I think, well, I don't think you guys have seen my cabinet, right?
No.
Not in a while.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll go back in here and I'll take my
Not
laptop with me.
I think.
You're no
Well,
now.
it's pretty much the same. I have another green tub full of figures since the
Oh. Ooh.
so I've got my custom Tomahawks up there, my Black Hawk, my Pave Hawk, and then some of my October Guard, and then a lot of my other just kind of. I tried to line everything up like they by the year on the top shelf. Same with the Cobras, but I just kind of started running out of room, so I just kind of kept going. The Saw Vipers, Dollar General figures, my blue shirts, CGs, and then the other blue shirts, Arctic.
Lifeline is injured.
Yeah, Lifeline's down. So is Bomb Strike.
Are they injured or wounded?
I don't know. Probably one of my dogs or the cats hit the case and knocked it over. But I've got all my extra Cobra Commanders down here and some of my other exclusives. Got the one figure that Arthur Berg doesn't like to talk about. Burghardt, or that Arthur Burghardt. He doesn't like talking about the Pimp Daddy Dress Bro for some reason. But just pretty much it. And then I got I don't remember what wave these were, but some of my FSS figures that I haven't opened yet. Let's have a Blackout. Who's that? Surefire. 2 different versions of Sneak Peek. Bullhorn, Outback, Billy, which they'll all end up getting open. I don't, as you guys can see, I open up everything. I don't leave anything unopened. I think maybe I have the only 2 figures that I have unopened are Storm Shadow and Firefly, which I both had signed by Greg Berger that did Firefly's voice, and Keone Young that did Storm Shadow. Had them sign those my Hall of Heroes figures at the Long Beach Comic Con. Was it about 2 or 3 years ago when I met Chloe. I can't remember her name now. Chloe Bennett from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, okay.
Chloe Bennett.
Yeah, Chloe Bennett. Yeah, I got my picture with her and stuff. Had my Cobra shirt on.
No longer a fan of her. She's going out with that idiot Logan somebody.
Logan Paul, yeah.
They respected Japanese dead people in the
Oh, that's right. The Forest, right?
the Sherwood Forest place.
Yeah.
Suicide Forest.
Yep. I wasn't cool with that.
Hey, Andre.
Yes.
You remember that gantry crane that you made? Any plans on making another one, or maybe making smaller versions of them?
Yes. Plans to make a smaller scale version.
Yeah, because now that we got all these crates and gear and stuff, we need crate to load them up on the boats and the trucks.
Right.
Yeah, I wanted to do something with that with the base that I was making, being able to have like just the regular gantry like you would see at the seaports, where it's just, it has its own wheels or something like that, and can come out and pick up whatever heavy object and move it. And gosh, there's so many things that you've made in the past that as you saw, I showed you the other day, I've got a whole folder of just DioWarrior stuff that you've made in the past years, and I'm, a lot of it I use for inspiration as well, because the Zombie Lab is one thing with the hoses, how you did the cables or whatever, how they were coiled, or whatever those coiled wires were that were attached to they look like conduit.
They were 8 rings. So they're actually like little rings that are common in like a Gundam model to help the model's legs stay straight. And but they make great little props for hoses and things like that. But yeah, instead of a gantry crane, I just use a loader.
Oh, from Alien?
Yep.
I need to pick one of those up too.
Yeah, I got a forklift from Dude. Actually, I got a forklift and a power pallet jack that came with a set. They're a little expensive.
Well, you all seen my my Joe Room collection already in other videos. I've been rearranging some stuff, so I have a lot of junk on the floor. And but
See, there's your gantry set up right there in the corner, isn't that?
no. Let's see. There in the corner.
Or is that your? No, that's your. What used to be your lab, your zombie lab.
Right. Yeah, that's Zombie Lab. It's on a little cart, so I can just roll it around for lighting conditions. Take it near a window or something like that to take photos.
Cool.
But yeah, all of the diorama stuff, they're going to be coming back once we get the milling machine milling the molds for them. And so we're racing against time to get that up and going. I'm not going to talk too much about that, but yeah, we're going to be doing our own diorama type system soon. And but anyways, let's see. Oh yeah, so I was talking about the collection. So I've been redesigning the bookcases, trying to take advantage of the I don't know if you can see it, the acrylic lights. Let me see.
I don't know. My video of you is frozen.
Your camera went out again.
Okay. Enabling it again.
There you go.
Okay. It's a lot of light, but I don't know if y'all can see me. So I got displays over here, acrylic displays. Marauders, DieWarriors, others. And so I intend to just do the rest of the bookcases with acrylic displays as well, you know, for Cobra, G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Rebels, you know, Imperial, things like that, and other lines.
What are the anime pictures you got in between the shelves?
Oh, those are just boxes for Figma. Like
Oh,
just empty box, got the plastic on the inside.
See, I thought I think I'd asked Andre about that before because I thought they were like inserts or something put there to say, okay, like the gal there in the red shirt is like that's his shelf of that brand of figures, or then you really start looking, and it's like I don't know. And then I finally asked you and you explained, and I was like, oh well, yeah, that explains a lot.
No, it helps to kind of space out the bookcases, and if not, they're just just too close together. So I just wanted something to space them out. And the plastic on the inside, they take a lot of stress. And so when the doors are open, it stops the bookcases from swinging on one side or something. So
cool.
That figure reminds me. I thought I found the somebody had, I don't know if it was a joke or what they were doing, but they put up a picture of the little armory wall and cabinet system on one of the 3D printing sites, and then when you click it, it says error 404 not found. I was like, oh, you bastards. I was like, oh, that would have been so awesome.
I really like the little armory stuff. I don't know if you can see it there.
They've got some really sweet weapon setups, and like those crates you showed me, those modular crates. That's a really cool setup too. I like that.
Yeah. I got that because I wanted to experiment to see how they were doing a modular crate system. And but so I have the crates just laying out over there. I don't know if you can get them.
Come on, dogs.
So, hey, Tom,
Yeah.
do you have your collection on display?
Yeah, hang on. Put the dogs out.
Okay.
I saw his newest JoeCon box set up there on the top of the shelf.
Yeah, up here.
Yeah. What did you
Just the
think of
boxes.
that set? Were you pretty happy with that last set, the last con set?
Not really.
No.
Well, it's nice to have because it's the last one. But I think I never liked Marauders, the Slaughter's Marauders when they first came out, and I was an older guy compared to some of you younger guys, and I didn't like the paint jobs. The vehicles were awesome. Python Patrol, I think those figures turned out pretty well. But I just wasn't really. I like the Battle Force 2000 from last year more than this. So I got.
Yeah.
There's the Marauder set and my card of the figures in the back.
Cool.
Then I have Battle Force 2000, and over here is the San Diego Comic Con set. Some of the figures.
Oh, the ROM and
yeah,
those are pretty cool.
Yeah, and Roadblock, of course, had to go with the Renegades figures.
Nice.
And then I have various FSS figures, and I got 2 shelves of those.
Cool.
And this is some of my son's stuff, Witcher, and then his Earthbound stuff.
Oh, nice.
And he's got the original game there, and the manual, and the player's guide. And then down here are just a few of my 12-inch figures. And they're kind of leaning over.
I got into the 12-inch figures. Was it somewhere around in the mid '90s when the 21st Century Toys and
late '90s, early 2000s. Those were that was some beautiful stuff.
Yeah, I was really, really stoked. I was in, the thought is if I ever had a son, because I didn't at that time. I was barely graduated in '92, so I thought, well, if I ever have a boy, I could always pass this stuff down because I never, my father never played with GI Joe or he never got it. I don't know what Vietnam, and he just didn't really like military stuff. But again, I got the Little Bird. I got the Humvee. I bought a bunch of I wouldn't say aftermarket, but there was I bought a Gatling gun or like a handheld chain gun. There was a couple sets from Heckler and Koch that had some really, really nice platforms. Hello, cat. Hey, you guys knocking stuff off. Watch out. What happened? What fell?
Get in the bed.
Great. Now I don't know what the hell fell off my thing. That's what happens when you have a house full of animals. Oh, it was my forceps. Another good thing about being in the medical field. Get lots of stuff, but gosh, now I lost my train of thought. What the hell was I talking about?
Talking about the 90s.
Yeah.
Girls.
Yeah, the HKs and everything. The actual bolt. There was a spring in there where you can actually pull the bolt back and lock it into place, and then actually, if you were to put a magazine in, you could actually pop the bolt up and it would slam forward. The HK pistols, the slides would slide back. You can pull out the magazines.
Yeah.
Just some really, really nice pieces. I ended up keeping all of those and kept them for my. I only have two 12-inch figure, 3 actually. I'm sorry. I have Rhodey in his pre-War Machine, the silver suit. I have Captain America, the First Avenger, and then a Hot Toys Cobra Viper, which he got all the rest of my really cool sniping rifles and HK and some of the other equipment that I didn't sell off. But yeah, that was a good era, the 12-inch figures.
Yeah, they also have 12-inch GI Joe diorama props that I would like to have in 1/18 scale.
Mm-hmm. Were those actual all Joes, Tom, or are those some other?
They were
12-inch?
all. Those were all Joes, and they were all. Several of them are customs.
Oh, cool.
Made up from various other Hasbro figures. Like this is Sergeant Savage. It's the only thing original is the Sergeant Savage head, because the original body that it came with was horrendous, and I put it on a different GI Joe body, and then gave him a 21st century uniform.
Oh, looks good.
And then this here.
Is anyone doing 3D printing for the 12-inch Joes?
Yeah, this was
I haven't seen anything.
my spin on Falcon.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Give me some light on him, and it's more modern camo, still 21st century gear. I think the uniform might actually be Power Team Elite. Yeah, because 21st century wasn't around making that camo pattern. And then this was just a standard Hasbro generic head.
Wow.
That I thought suited Falcon pretty well, and not Duke's brother or half brother or whatever. No, that doesn't happen in my universe. That's stupid, lazy comic book writing.
I liked those the villains, the 21st century villains. They came out with some pretty good figures.
Yeah. One more, and I think actually I'm going to call it quits for the evening. This guy here, kind of recognize him.
Firefighter.
Oh, awesome!
And that's all 21st century gear, and I painted the camo on his head, but I really could have done. I think if I'd have used a darker gray as the base of the.
I think that looks great, man.
It's perfect.
Yeah. I think that gray, compared to his uniform, is too light. So one day, I've got another of these mashed heads like this, and one day I'll go back and redo it and give him some better. Let me see, some better hands, because these were originally painted hands, and then I put some cloth gloves over them, and they look kind of dumb. But they do have molded gloves, which really look good. He needs a new look, but one day maybe I'll get back to him.
That's cool. That's one thing I liked about 21st Century Toys. They brought out a lot of really great accessories for the 12-inch figures.
Yeah. One more. I'll show one more. Where is he? Okay, so we got this guy. This is my own version of him.
Snakey.
Snake eyes. And then can actually pull his rubber mask off.
Oh, cool.
Right.
And then you have maybe that's that better. If you find him. There he is. Yeah. So he's not the horribly disfigured soldier, but just the minor scarred up figure.
Yeah, you get the idea, though.
Yeah, which I mean, even if he's horribly disfigured, he's gonna take that sweaty mask off once in a while, because that's gonna. I mean, even him and Beachhead with their masks all the time, those masks gotta stink.
Well, you know, Beachhead not wearing any deodorant, that he just stinks anyway. I think Snakey probably smell a hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
It's one thing I always remember is something about, your deodorant problem. Wow, I don't wear deodorant. Yeah, that's your problem. Oh, man.
All right, guys, I'm gonna take off. I gotta get up early.
All right, Tom. Well, it's
It's been
good
fun.
seeing you. Good meeting you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. This is fun. I'm gonna. I was noticing this Google Hangout thing, and I noticed some invites from Arnold from 2014. So apparently, it's been a while since I think I was on one Hangout with Shane once. I don't know, but yeah, this is cool, and I want to do this again because this is pretty fun.
Oh, definitely. You're always welcome, man.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna let you guys go.
Okay.
And,
All right, man. Have a good night.
Okay.
And we'll see you all next time.
All right.
Later.
Take care.
Stretch.
Well, that was a good hangout, guys.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with it. It's
Another guy was supposed to join us, Lawrence Alberto, but I guess he had problems logging in, or maybe he had the same problem originally, like confusing Facebook with YouTube. But he was a little excited also, but he never came on. Oh well.
Well, I know Myron wants to get on. He said he doesn't have the technology, and I told him last night, I'm like, dude, you can do it from your phone. I said, as long as you have a Gmail account, sign into it, and I said, Arnold or I can walk you through it, and get you set up and get you rolling. Gidget, you little turd.
Yeah, like that one time, I was still at Toys R Us, and my cell phone rang. So Shane sent me an invite. So I'm like showing off where I was, but the signal was kind of weak.
Yeah. Oh, man. So I'm going to try to search more on Thingiverse. That seems to be my thing here lately, is constantly searching for free files for cool stuff to print. Gosh.
There's a lot of cool stuff to print on there.
That's the problem. I have, it's on this laptop, all kinds of STLs that are like on my desktop that are probably half of my desktop is just nothing but STLs, and it's everything from, I found a manned maneuvering unit from NASA that I'll need to scale down. Let's see if I can minimize this. There we go. There's a pool table, the guard shack where I got that chair from, an A10 jammer pod, an ALQ whatever thing, but it's for a radio controlled, so that needs to be scaled down. I've got AIM-9 sidewinders. I've got cluster bomb units. I've got Mark 84 Snake Eyes bombs. These are all for RC planes, but that doesn't mean they can't be scaled down.
Mm-hmm.
Surfboards, soda cans, water bottles, the fusion cell from Fallout. The defibrillator, traffic barriers. I've got a bunch of those 3D printed G.I. Joe vehicles that guy has available. But you have to scale them. I mean, they're like full size, so you have to scale them down like to 25%. But to be able to use them with the Marauders table, or even DioWarriors table, I think you'd have to really scale them down significantly to be able to use them on their planning or war tables or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, I was able to scale down the vamp so I could take it as a desk decoration for General Hawk.
Nice.
SoCon with the general's desks, but the one of the barrels of the rear weapon just snapped off.
Oh.
So it was only like just half the weapon there. But but yeah, you know, you can scale the things down with the resin printer. You can get some interesting detail still on it. I don't recommend scaling down too much with a filament printer
Hmm.
because those layering lines will kill those small details.
Yeah, because that USS Flag is, I think it's 36 inches long. They had a level that was, about this big. It was probably about 36 inches or so, but they had it laid out next to it, and I was like, oh, geez, that thing is huge. There's no way I'm going to print that thing.
I wanted to do what Arnold suggested. You know, a lot of people, like generals, admirals, things like that, they may have like a trophy of where they started. You know, like for example, if they started in infantry, maybe they have some a
Like a
model
howitzer or
of a
something like
weapon or
that.
something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, my admiral, the one I drove for, he was a plank owner for the Big Mo. So plank owner meaning he's part of the original crew when it first got commissioned.
Right.
So he must have been like a lowly screaming seaman at the time. This old man was old. But so when she got decommissioned, they took her wooden deck and they broke up all the planks and they gave all the they shined it up and polished it up and they gave it to him. But he also had on his desk a scaled down version of the Big Mo, the USS Missouri, in a glass case, like the kind that you will see at the container store, that contains a baseball bat or something like that. And every outfit I worked for as a merchant marine, that was their deal. I would come in and turn in my resume, and right there in the lobby is this big old stand, and it'll show what kind of ships they got, what their flagship is, or I mean, this is a tugboat company. They got this scaled down version of a tugboat in a glass case. Of course, the display was looking nice, beautiful paint job. I come on board and this thing's just like crappy as fuck, and they got a deodorant problem. But yeah, that you scale down the USS Flag and put it on Kill Hall's
Shelf
desk.
in the background.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, because
scale it down, desktop size.
yeah. Let me grab the two things I printed. I printed up a his tank and an asp. They turned out pretty good.
See that? Yeah, I still got the I think it's the Retaliation Firefly where it came with a hiss drone.
Yes.
Hiss drone. Still in package. I haven't bothered opening it up yet. Maybe I'll do a package opening video, kind of like Otto, like show it off, show the card art, and then rip it up.
One of the Cobra commanders has
appreciate the file card. Look at this. Read it and then rip it to shreds.
I forgot to
down and say, "Oops, I shouldn't have done that."
Yeah. People preserve the bubble and the card, and everything else. I'll just cut it to shreds.
Let's see. Yep.
So that was a fire bat that I'm still working on painting.
Yeah, not too bad.
And then the it's kind of dark. We're here.
I see it. I see it.
The asp.
Yeah, asp.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. And then the his tank, I wanted to go a little bit different. Instead of the typical black, I went with the Cobra Island blue. So I got to paint.
Not pretty good.
Yeah, so I was really, really happy with it. They have the Terradome that I want to print as well.
How about print up a small desktop size MMS, mobile missile system?
He has it. They have it available, dude.
Yeah, it's in multiple parts. I was going to print that one, but I was running out of time, and it was multiple parts. I would have to scale, multiple pieces together, kind of eyeball them. And I was thinking, I'll just do it later. And I just did the vamp and got that.
Yeah, because that was his first. His original figure came with him.
Right.
So that would be like his first command thing on display on his desk.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. It's like, well, wait a minute, you can scale them all at once, but then, yeah, those files, they comes out huge. I mean, massive, and you wouldn't be able to scale them all down. Like for instance, if I had a couple pieces that I need to scale, I can select all models, and I can scale them all down at once. But with the parts, like even the Stinger comes with multiple parts. It comes with wheels, the body, and the missiles, and the missile rack. You have to put all that together. Same with the Sky Striker. You can have it where the wings sweep, the wings are swept out, missiles and all that stuff, and it's
a lot of it depends on the software for the printer, and but the thing is that the software is not interchangeable between different brands of printers. So I could take it to one of the MakerBot ones I have. That's larger build area. So when you import the models, they are oversized, but they're not that oversized. But I can't, if I could spend an hour making everything nice and neat, and then I can't export it to a resin printer. It just won't work that way.
Are you using Cura for your MakerBots?
No, I'm using Cura for the monoprice printers. I'm using the MakerBots. They have their own software for the MakerBots, and the Slash for the resin printer uses something called the parent company is called like Uniz or something like that. So they have their own, and the Formlabs has their own. By far, the best software to use is the Formlabs. It's like that's the Ferrari of the 3D printing stuff.
And that's, you have to pay for that?
Yeah. It's the most expensive one is the Formlabs. And but everything with that printer is like load and forget. You just load it, and there's a lot of automatic stuff on there. It's almost to the point of just pressing the button to print. Not quite exactly like that, but it's almost like that.
That's cool. Yeah, the Cura, that's what I learned on at the college, or actually the university, where they have all the printer bots in there, which I'm kind of glad now that I didn't pick up a printer bot, because I just saw something on Yahoo News the other day that the company folded.
Yes. Yeah, I just posted about that on the 3D printed toys group.
So I was like, somebody was telling me not to do it, because there was one on Amazon that was pretty cheap, and there's something happened and the price went up dramatically from like $219 to $400 something, and I'm like, nope, not gonna touch it. So I started looking on Facebook, found one on the marketplace for this one for 160. I got it. They wanted 180, but I talked them down to 160. So saved a little bit. But for a brand new unit, that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, my alarm just went off. I need to take my meds and my insulin, so we're gonna call this a night.
Yep.
Thank you.
I gotta get up early tomorrow also, but I still want to watch something before getting the sack. So
it's kind of relax. Do you let your brain fade out a little bit?
I need it.
Well, I'll have those.
Been really crazy,
I'll have those things to you soon, probably the next couple days. I'm still waiting for. I kind of got shorted with this month with Patty having to go to Virginia to help her father because her grandmother passed away, and then on July 13th we had to put Boris down. He was getting too sick, so I will try to get those that at least the box out with your SATCOM and the table frame and all that stuff out to you this week.
Yeah, no problem. I got stuff to send to you also. They're sitting on a table, and I'm adding more stuff to it as I do more printing and cutting.
Ooh.
Arnold, I have some updates of some new stuff that I would like to send to you as well. Not a whole bunch, but they're newer stuff.
All right.
I mean, like mostly, I think it's going to be just like the table, the desks type stuff.
Nice.
And then for Dusty and anybody else on the team, I do have, if they're watching, if they will watch, I do have stuff also that I intend to send. They're sitting on the table as well.
Yeah, I've got some I've got key artist stuff that I'm working on because he paid me some money to get him a jammer figure. So I'm putting together a box for him with some sleeping bags and probably a stretcher and some other printed stuff. And then thankfully, I have all of my sleeping bag stuff already pre-cut. So all I have to do, fold it, run this one little line, actually 1, 2, 3 lines of stitches through it, and then I'll be able to knock out a bunch of those, and I'll probably have to send those in a second shipment to you, Andre. But
no problem.
I've got several different styles, so I'm gonna have some probably stuff for GI Joe, and then maybe some stuff that could be used for Cobra.
Okay, no problem. Okay, folks.
Okay, gentlemen, good night, and thank you to our one single viewer who stayed with us the whole time.
Okay.
I've been sharing the link.
Catch y'all later. Let's try to do this again. What, a week or two, something like that.
Say what?
Let's try to do another video in like a week or two or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Let's say 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
Okay.
2 weeks. That way we can give everybody some time to, if we're doing any customs and stuff like that, to kind of work and get some stuff put out, and then I think that'll be a perfect time.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Good night, gentlemen.
Good night, everybody.
All right, man. You guys